They were the ones who upheld the law, the ones who carried the badge, the oath, the weight of systemic justice. They were the individuals trained to look for clues, to track the lost, and to step between the innocent and the dark. And then, they were the ones who vanished. A cruiser abandoned at the edge of a rugged river road, a shattered laptop pulled from black water, a brass compass sinking into deep jungle mud. Tonight, the Ledger examines 4 real cases of those who stepped into the quiet spaces of the world, never to return. Prepare to enter
The Witness Ledger.
Entry number 067. Location, Baldwin, Pennsylvania, US. Date, spring of 1980. Subject, the vanishing of Micheal Rosenblum. The file remains open. Our first file begins in Baldwin, Pennsylvania, the spring of 1980. Officer Micheal Rosenblum was only 25 years old. Young, energetic, newly married. A man with a career laid out in front of him like a clean, straight highway. But on March 13th, that road bent sharply into the dark. Following a minor argument at home, Micheal left the house to clear his head. He never came back. Hours bled into days. When his car was finally located, it was sitting abandoned on an isolated, rugged stretch of river road. The vehicle had a flat tire, a smashed wing mirror. But inside, the mystery deepened. His identification was gone. His service badge was missing. The investigation that followed was deeply troubled. Conflicting timelines from local officials, delayed searches, vital fragments of evidence that simply didn't line up with the official narrative. Decades later, a grim discovery was made in the dense woods near that same river road. Isolated human remains. DNA profiling confirmed they belonged to Micheal. The system closed the physical file, but the question that mattered most, the what-if that keeps this case alive in the local hills, remains completely untouched. Why was his car damaged? Who took the badge? A police officer vanished, and the truth was buried in the undergrowth with him. Entry number 068. Location, Houma, Louisiana, US. Date, August 28, 1991. Subject, the vanishing of A.J. Breaux. The file remains open. A J. Al Breaux was a retired Louisiana state trooper, 61 years old. A quiet, disciplined, steady man. The kind of person who didn't just follow routines. His decades in uniform meant he built them. He was also a man who had fought a hard personal battle with alcoholism, maintaining 8 years of absolute sobriety. That morning, he left his house to run a few mundane errands. A quick trip to the bank, a few small stops, nothing unusual. But Al never returned. His car was eventually found parked outside a local convenience store. It was locked, empty, no signs of a struggle. His wallet and his keys were missing. But it was the timeline before the car was abandoned that leaves a chilling shadow over Houma. A local clerk came forward with a bizarre report. Al had walked into the store that morning, but he wasn't the disciplined former trooper his family knew. He appeared disoriented, agitated, and most unsettling of all. He purchased a pack of cigarettes and a bottle of wine. A sudden, unexplained relapse. Or was someone else in the shadow of that car forcing his hand? Massive searches tore through the surrounding marshlands. Interviews were held. Leads were followed into the swamps. Nothing. A lifetime spent upholding the law, and in the end, the law could not find him. Entry number 069. Location, Center County, Pennsylvania, US. Date, April 15th, 2005. Subject, the vanishing of Gricar. The file remains open. Our third file is perhaps one of the most baffling and heavily discussed disappearances in modern American legal history. District Attorney Ray Gricar was a man defined by a cold, methodical mind. He was famous for high-profile prosecutions, handling brutal cases with clinical precision. On this particular morning, he took a day off, telling his girlfriend he was going for a scenic drive through the Brush Valley. He never returned. The next day, his red Mini Cooper was found parked near an antique mall, right along the banks of the Susquehanna River. The keys were gone, but his cell phone was left sitting on the passenger seat. The driver's seat was pushed remarkably far back, suggesting someone much taller than Ray had been behind the wheel last. Months later, the river began to give up its secrets. First, fishermen pulled Ray's county-issued laptop from the dark water. The hard drive was missing. Then, weeks later, lower down the riverbank, investigators found the hard drive itself. It hadn't just been dropped. Someone with technical knowledge had meticulously disassembled it, scored the platters, and used magnets to ensure the data was destroyed beyond any hope of recovery. No body has ever been found. No confirmed sightings have ever surfaced. A prosecutor who spent his entire life uncovering the hidden truths of others vanished into a digital and physical silence that no one has been able to break. Entry number 070. Location: the Amazon rainforest. Date: 1925. Subject: the vanishing of Percy Fawcett. The file remains open. Our final case reaches back a century into the suffocating, uncharted canopy of the Amazon rainforest. Colonel Percy Fawcett was a legendary explorer, a hardened soldier, and in his earlier years, a disciplined officer serving in Ceylon. He understood tracking, logistics, and human nature. In 1925, he set out into the deep green of the Mato Grosso region alongside his son, Jack, and their companion, Raleigh Rimmel. They were hunting for the remnants of an ancient, advanced civilization, a place Fawcett codenamed simply Z. Their last letter, dispatched via a native runner from a location called Dead Horse Camp, described good health, high spirits, and an absolute certainty that they were standing on the threshold of their discovery. Then, the jungle closed. Over the next century, dozens of heavily armed rescue expeditions retraced Fawcett's steps. Some vanished themselves, swallowed by the same green wall. Rumors filtered out of the wilderness for decades, whispers of hostile tribes, sudden illness, mutiny, and even tales of an aging white man living out his days as a captive chief. A compass belonging to Percy had been found. He had left it behind before embarking in that last fateful expedition. But no other concrete trace of Fawcett, his son, or their equipment has ever been recovered. A former officer of the law walked into the trees and became a ghost woven into the fabric of the jungle.